right, let's jump into episode 2. Welcome.
If you're just now joining us, hope you enjoyed our episode 1 breakdown. We're going to be talking about. It probably sounds like we cut there, but we really did.
We did it.
We're just rolling. Welcome to episode 2. We're going to talk about that now.
Let's do it.
Let's just keep it.
Let's keep rolling,
right
man.
On going.
So, of course, we get our title credits and then jump right into the episode, and we are back on the jungle planet that I'm not going to name yet because I don't want to spoil that until we get to the end, because that was such a huge reveal in this episode. Like, that was probably the biggest reveal in this episode.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the implications of what this planet is at the end of this episode. But, yeah, so let's jump into it. We've got 2 representatives from each side of the standoff crawling through the battlefield to search for the woman that was shot, Rika. Cassian is smartly trying to drink all the water he can from the dripping as it rains outside. And they only find parts, Mac.
Yep.
Of Rika. We find a visor and we find a foot. That's it.
It's still in the boot with nothing else attached. So
Not good.
I think it's safe to say that they don't need to keep looking. Like, I think it's good.
Go back.
Yep.
Yeah, and it ends in a firefight between the 2 parties with each person explaining that there is nothing left, and Cassian tells them to start banking water because, again, these people are helpless.
It just shows you like what Cassian is focusing on with experience and all that kind of stuff. Like he knows that the thing that's going to kill anybody before anything is probably like dehydration, and you can't think straight or operate if your own like physical needs are not addressed. So he's doing all that stuff first. It's also
These people,
a little
bit. I hate him so much.
I know. I think he's also doing this as a way to throw like discord into what they're doing. It's always like when they're about to come up with a plan and stuff that he throws in something completely unrelated, like the water, to get them kind of off topic. And you never kind of, so you see what he's doing to sow the seeds for his own escape. It takes a long time.
Too long. Then we cut to Coruscant, and Dedra and Partagaz walk to the ISB headquarters, and she admits that she doesn't want the Gorman project. She'd rather be chasing Axis. Partagaz tells her, catch them first, then make them famous. That's the mistake she made back in season 1, and that's why she's off the project, is because you didn't close.
You've created a folk hero, basically. Like the people now have a face and a name, not a face, but a name to put their hope in, it's you see how like Dedra has all the talent and potential to be the world's most terrible person in being an ISB agent, right? She's like naturally good at it and stuff, but she's constantly like not seeing the biggest picture she could, and she's constantly having that shown to her by other people. So you can see how she's expanding her own like reach and skill set.
Yeah. And what you learn from this scene is Partagaz is still mentoring her, right? Like he still sees her as someone like, I'm going to pour into you and I'm going to give you some advice right here. And he tells her to keep playing the game. She will be able to run Gorman how she sees fit. And he goes on to say, Gorman is a gift. Take it and then win it. And I feel like he's going to regret those words.
I think she's going to take that to the bank, and I think it's going to go poorly particularly for the Gormans, but for everybody involved.
It is not going to go well, I don't think. Then we cut to Chandrila, and Luthen leads workers into an ornate dining room with a large covered piece. Yeah. What could this be?
What's in there?
I can't wait to talk about it. Clea whispers to him that they still haven't heard anything from anyone, and she can't even get through to Bix, and that starts to make them very nervous.
Yeah.
She requests to go back to the gallery to make contact with them, while Perrin watches them from behind. And again, you get the sense from Perrin He knows more than what he's letting on. And I think there's a lot to Perrin that we're going to get into. I think at the end of episode 3, he gives kind of a look, right? I think that's the look you're talking about.
I mean, in this one, just even when he's describing his interactions with Tay and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's letting Mon know that he learned some things.
Ooh. I hope he comes through. I hope that he is not a scumbag like we all think he is.
I think season 2 may be having him come back around, and he may be subverting our expectations in actually being very supportive of Mon. And like,
dude's legit.
Like, I think they might.
There's a reason she married him.
Exactly. They may find out that like they do have more in common and more of a shared goal after all.
I hope so.
You know.
Yeah, I like it's a very Jaime Lannister thing.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. I mean, he starts out all prideful and arrogant and has to be humbled a little bit. And yeah, I would like Perrin to have to do something of himself, you know?
Yeah.
To sacrifice something for Mon to kind of get him fully back on the we like him side.
Yeah.
Or
this could be all set up for us to do exactly what we're doing, hoping for some sort of redemption arc for him, only for him to do something terrible to Mon Mothma.
I mean, like, we don't see Perrin hanging around the rebellion in Return of the Jedi. So
he's not on Akbar's ship.
You know, well,
at least as far as we know. So Mon greets him as she walks in, and they talk about it. The figure that Luthen has being a Shandy Merle, which is a specific kind of statue, which we will talk about later. And oh boy, I can't wait to
it's
talk about
really important. Mm-hmm. Like, not really for the statue, but
for me and Mac, it is. Yeah. You can cross off something on your bingo card when we talk about it.
It's coming up.
Perrin says to tell her boyfriend to lay off the nog, and she tells him to stop playing that game. He is not her boyfriend. Slight spoilers for Reign of the Empire here. In the book, Mon had to lie about having an affair with someone to throw the Empire off of her scent about doing something. And I wonder if Perrin thinks that she sleeps around when she really doesn't, because she has told people that.
It's very, and she may not be able to explain why it's not true.
Exactly.
You know, like why she because if she's saying that.
Yeah,
he probably just they probably had to make peace with that, however that works. So, I mean, that could explain some of the the vitriol that we observe.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Tay had too much of First Night Punch, and you and I know you never do that. If you have too much...
last night punch, you can pretty much go as hard as you want on that. But first night, come on. No. You know, my favorite is actually eighth night punch.
It's pretty good. It's a very tangy taste.
Yeah. But it's got that really nice color to it, that verdant green.
I like First Night Punch. It's kind of a cinnamony taste to it, and I think that's why Tay just couldn't stop. Right. It tastes so good.
Right. But we could all agree, Second Night Punch, just skip it, right? I mean, come on.
For real. Who wants Second Night Punch? Nobody
Why do we
does.
even bother making punch on the second night, you know?
Just get out the First Night Punch again.
Yeah, let's just run it back.
Anyways, he had to be taken home because he had too much First Night Punch. But the indication is that Tay is losing it.
Yeah. Yeah, he is unraveling. He is falling apart, which just makes him... He's just so volatile right now.
Yeah.
He could do anything, say anything at any moment. He's not got his sense about him. He's not got his head. And that just presents such a danger for Mon Mothma.
Yeah. He knows too much.
Yeah. And is now... I mean, he even starts talking to her about secret stuff in a louder voice, through this arc. Starts practically screaming stuff to the room.
Put your third night punch down. Tay. Stop.
Come on. Yeah.
So things are not going well on that front, and we cut back to Mineral, and at the local outpost, they go about their day-to-day life, and the local elder, I believe his name is Kellen, we learn later on, goes to speak with Brasso, Bix, and Willman to inform them what the Empire is there for.
Yeah.
And they mention them not being there legally and being from Ferrix, but he reassures them that it's probably going to be okay, which is not great reassurance.
It's not great. You get the sense that he's kind of taken them in a way. Like he's kind of the one harboring them, keep looking out for them, keeping them safe. Like he's probably one of the only people on the planet that know the full story.
Right.
So, I like how they're setting all this up.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. It's believable. It's good.
Yeah. On the jungle planet, on the ship, they go through their rations, most of them moldy, while Cassian drinks water. And he's just like, you guys, you can live without food, but you can't live without water.
Water.
Almost did Waterboy. He mentions how quiet it's gotten over there and suggests a perimeter. Again, you're exactly right. Like he kind of disrupts everything that they're doing of like, hey, maybe you should check and see what they're doing since it's really quiet over there.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion.
And somebody's like, oh, I was just about to do that.
Yeah.
Scuttles off.
It's like, dude, they act like middle schoolers. I work with middle schoolers. These guys act like middle schoolers.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
tough.
not going well. Over on the other side with the Tay, Viper, who is DJ's boyfriend from Full House, cuts into a nasty fruit. This guy looks just like Viper. The real ones know what I'm talking about.
Like I vaguely have a memory of her dating like a bad boy type.
Yeah, not Steve. This is Viper, who was in the band with Jesse. And Steve is the voice of Aladdin. And Aladdin is Space Aladdin, Ezra, Star Wars.
All right, we got there. The 3 degrees of Jesse's or of DJ's boyfriend from Full House.
Viper. So he's the one that cuts into the nasty fruit, and they debate on who should eat it, and finally someone tries it, and I'm like, please, God, Cassian, get away from these people.
Like, we've got to stop. We're done with this. We've been here too long. Yeah. My biggest criticism from this
you start
arc
to feel
is it just starts to slog. Just in this storyline.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's not enough to hamper an episode's pacing or anything like that. But if you just look at this storyline segment to segment lined up back to back, I think it'd seem a little laborious.
Yeah, it feels that way. On Coruscant, Cyril Karn is back, and he is the big boss at the Imperial Bureau of Standards. He brags about discovering a cabal of thieves to the new recruit, and Cyril is very, very proud of it. And he says, there's a future here for those who dare.
Talking about like a data entry job, like as corporate as it gets.
I don't care. I love Cyril Karn. I don't care what anybody says. He's one of my favorite characters on this show.
That's crazy to me. That's insane.
I don't care. Judge me.
I'm judging so hard.
He's a great character. He's not a good person. He's a great character.
I mean, they've turned the humor up on him for season 2, which has actually helped me know how to feel about him better.
Yes. He's Dwight.
Yes, exactly. He's Dwight from The Office. He's a job's worth. Like his entire value as a person is self-determined by like your 9 to 5.
I freaking love him. He's so good.
It's like Michael Scott from early seasons of The Office, but without any of the humor or the charm.
No charm, but it's humorous to watch him.
Yeah. Like he's not humorous. He's not a funny character, but the show is presenting him in such a humorous light.
It's good.
I have felt better about Cyril in this go around, just because I know that like, oh no, I'm not supposed to like him or anything.
Right.
There's like, I'm just my loyalties are not pulled in any way.
No.
When it comes to Cyril now.
No. But it's nice to check in on him and see how he's doing. He's made it to the big leagues. Yeah, Mac. He's doing well for himself. But we've got to go back to Minna Rao. And there, Wellman and Bila spend some alone time together. But they're interrupted by two Imperial speeders making their way to the township. And at the local township, they disembark and they see what they have to eat and drink. And one soldier asks for pizzos. Got to get me some greeny greens.
The greeny green ones.
Some pizzos. What are pizzos, you think?
We've had this conversation before during our rewatch at some point.
Are they like Pringles?
So you landed on combos or something like that, like a snack.
That's what it fit. Yes, like combos. Yeah,
I think it's like a cigarette. I don't know. I know they're talking about eating and drinking here, but then I don't know. I think it's like you go like.
I know. I want to invest in pizzos because everyone likes them.
I mean, addictive. It's like what else? What else is addictive? Cigarettes.
And combos.
I
don't like combos personally, but it seems like a road trip snack, and these guys are on a road trip.
Combos are the ultimate road trip snack. You are correct.
Yeah. Then we cut to Bix at the storage as the lieutenant. Oh, this guy. And we didn't mention this up top in our general discussion. I am very curious to see, especially when we get to episode 3, how people react to this storyline.
Me as well. And I'll be interested to discuss, like when we get to kind of, like you said, episode 3, we'll have to camp out there for a second and talk about it, just because a lot of the, like when my eyes were the widest and my jaw was the closest to the floor was anything involving
this guy.
And not in a good way for this guy.
The actor does an incredible job of being super creepy.
Just the worst.
Huge creep.
He's Gaston, basically, but in again, without any of the comic book charm of him being just a total right. I don't even have the word.
Diva. Gaston's a
diva. This guy is like all of the worst parts of Gaston.
With nothing to back it up.
Right, exactly.
He has nothing but the uniform. That's it.
Exactly. It's like all the entitlement. It's the, I am who I am, so I should get what I want or whoever I want. And all of that. It's bad.
Yeah, and again, I'm curious to see what the reaction will be to this, because we've never had anything like this in Star Wars before.
No. But
yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it. But yeah, he flirts with her, obviously trying to work his way up to asking her out. And he asks if she has ever been to the Rao, the only real city on the planet. And he'd like to take her there. She wisely says her husband probably wouldn't appreciate it. And you can see the lieutenant's face turn as soon as she says it. Like he is hating that he's been rejected.
Well, and also the way he viewed her as a person immediately switched in that moment.
Yeah.
No longer an attainable thing he wants. Now it's, because this person doesn't view people as people. I think he views people as things.
Right. Right. Yep. And then they're interrupted, thankfully, by Brasso, and he asks them what their council is. That's their township. That's what they call it on Mineral.
Yep.
He then wanders off, and we cut to Chandrilla and the wedding party make their way up through a stone path on the side of a mountain, and Mon kind of waits behind for Vel, and Vel asks if Lita really wants this. And they have that conversation before it switch over to Mon asking if she has heard from Cinta. And Vel reveals that she hasn't heard from Cinta at all. Luthen won't let them talk yet, and Mon doesn't like that.
I mean, and I understand why. Just because, Luthen being the arbiter of everything has to get frustrating if you're trying to work and do real good in the galaxy.
Yeah, and you got to think that at a certain point, Luthen's not going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to grow out beyond his control.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think you see him even coming to grips with that a little bit towards the end of season 1.
Yeah.
With things you can see that the stress of trying to hold all of this together and to keep so many lies in the air at the same time, it gets to him.
Yeah, for sure. Then we cut back to the jungle planet. They wonder where Plug went, thinking he flipped sides for food. But then when Plug comes running back, he says that they should be getting worried because at the TIE fighter, well, they're trying to point the TIE at them to shoot by pulling it on ropes.
Like, what are we doing? Like, this part is genuinely pretty funny
Yes.
to me, because like how disorganized is it? It is kind of a funny. You can extrapolate it to be a really big burn on the Empire and how they operate, because their solution to every little problem of like any kind of real working with anyone or diplomacy or anything was to build a giant laser and turn it on the galaxy.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I think I'm reaching a little bit for that there, but
No.
yeah, this is a funny scene.
Yeah, so they're trying to move the tie. They're not moving it very much, but the
They're
group...
like 5 centimeters. It's like, what do you mean?
The group with Cassian worries on what they should do. In Cassian's size, he's like, guys, they realize that they could just start shooting at them now, and
Yeah.
that's what they end up doing. It's like, why are you letting them do that? Just shoot at them.
Right.
Stop them from doing that.
They all have their hands full. Like, they're all pulling and pushing on this tie. So like, just go get them while they're doing that. Like,
These guys are the biggest dummies. I don't know what Maya Pei was doing, but she did a terrible job at her rebel cell.
yeah, she was not running a tight ship. We'll say that.
No. These are more like pirates without a captain. That's what it feels like.
That's the vibe, and I think that is kind of intentional, you know.
Yeah.
That is what they're trying to set up. But I'm good on it. I've got the point at this point in the arc, you know.
Yeah, in my notes, I wrote down this is the point where I started to get a little frustrated with this plot point. It's like, okay, please, for the love, all that is holy,
Let's move on.
Cassian, find a way out of this.
Yeah.
We cut to Coruscant. This had to be the second most shocking thing to happen in this episode for me. Dedra's in her apartment that she lives in with Cyril Karn. That SOB did it.
Again, jaw on the floor. I was like, that all of that worked? All
worked.
that weirdness in season 1 worked?
They're actually Dwight and Angela.
Okay, that's
that's
who
what
they
they
are.
are.
If I had to compare them to another couple in media, that's exactly it. Yeah, that's a great option. But I was flabbergasted. I was like, that's where we're going. Okay,
That's where we're going. Yep. And Cyril pleads with her that can they just pretend that she's not back yet? Because if she's back, that means it's time to invite his mother over for dinner. This again, I thought this stuff was great. There's a lot more humor this season with little moments like this, and I think adding Dedra into the mix with Edie and Cyril, magic.
Yeah,
I mean, just incredible stuff. I know we're not supposed to like Cyril and Dedra, but I kind of do. I like this stuff.
They're terrible people.
Yeah.
They seem perfect for each other. Like,
and you like to see that. You like to see, yeah.
I'm sure that will not be the case. I think that will probably be revealed as the season goes on.
Yeah. Sargona.
Yeah.
Sagrona Teema.
Teema, yeah.
I'm going to start saying that every day of my life to people. Anytime someone says something, I'm going to be like, Sargona
Teema.
Yeah, they're, like you said, they're perfect for each other, horrible for the galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
On Chandrilla,
they're a power couple, just like the dark powers.
Yeah, not the powers that you want.
No.
On Chandrilla that evening, the wedding party continues as Mon makes her way to Tay. Nearby, Luthen watches as Mon and Tay talk, and she apologizes to him for not talking with him yet. And they discuss how Tay is having concerns about the Foundation. Though everything is okay with it, he just wants to know what he actually is getting out of this. And we know for sure now he is not doing well, because this is not the Tay Kolma of season 1.
No.
he would not be asking for things like this, but now he wants a piece of the pie.
Right. It's just like everything in his personal life has gone, to the garbage heap. But like, so I think
Trash
now
compactor.
he's like grasping for any kind of debt. Like he needs help is really what he needs, but he doesn't want to admit that. He's proud. And he's found this as being like a debt he can call in instead of having to ask for help. Even though that's not at all why he got into this arrangement or anything in season 1. And, Mon Mothma is not doing this for, her own personal wants and stuff like that. Like she is personally losing a lot.
Right.
I just know that it also, I get the optics though, of Tay Kolma being like, I've just lost everything and you're over here throwing this super opulent party. So I get the frustration.
What's in it for me, yeah.
But like, that's not why you got in this, dude. That's not what it's about.
You were helping a friend.
Yeah.
Luthen notices though.
Uh-huh.
That's not going to be good.
No.
That's never good. If you got Luthen noticing you, that's not good.
Like you
Either way.
Yeah, you don't want your name to be known to Luthen right now.
No. Really, Stilgar?
Oh.
Where's Stilgar? Okay. We cut back to Mineral for a quick check-in at night. The village elder, Kellen, explains, or Kellen, we'll call him Kel. Kel explains what is happening everywhere else on the planet with the audit. We kind of get a check-in with that, and then we cut to Coruscant very quickly as Clea returns to the shop and quickly checks the comms and gets nothing on them.
Yep.
On Chandrila, Luthen and Mon talk about Tay and what is going on with them. Also, interesting. Let me pause real quick. Mm-hmm. This is something I noticed. I haven't pointed out because it doesn't really matter, but it is interesting. I noticed this in season 1. Anytime it's night on Chandrila, it's night on Coruscant, it's night everywhere else. It's night for everybody.
Yeah. It's the big sun at the middle of the galaxy that all the other little suns revolve around.
That makes
sense. So like,
Okay.
you can have whatever suns you want in your solar system, but they're all orbiting the big sun. So like it's the universal atomic clock for the Star Wars galaxy.
Okay. I was just checking.
That's how it works.
See if anybody else noticed that. Luthen and Mon talk about Tay and what is going on with him. And Luthen realizes that Tay is compromised. He's worried he would go to Skolden, and he warns her that they cannot let this be. And she promises to find a number that will work for Tay to keep him happy. And Luthen knows that ain't going to work.
Like, I don't think there's not a number that's going to keep Luthen happy. I think, at this point, I start feeling some bad things for old Tay Kolma. I think he may have outlived his usefulness to the rebellion.
Yep. This is the point where I also started feeling that. But Sagrona Mech.
Yeah.
Teemu. Perrin gives a speech, Sargona, to the wedding guest as Lita. He asked Lita to have joy in life, Sargona. That those joyful moments, Sargona, make life worth living, Sagrona Teema. And it's a good speech.
Yeah, no,
Perrin gives a good speech here.
Yeah, and everybody in the room loves Perrin. You get he's got a charisma that, he's got a charm
that
that draws
the
people
worst
to
guy
him.
makes a great point.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, but it's a good speech.
We need to make that meme. That's actually a good meme with Perrin's face on it instead.
The worst guy makes a great speech. Perrin should be like, Sagrona.
Sagrona Teema.
Sagrona.
So he gives a great speech, and I'm starting to question, is Perrin all that bad? And I think that they want us to question that. And so I think you should have that in your mind going forward. And then we go to the jungle planet, and we're finally going to get this thing rolling. They're yelling at each other, just being stupid idiots, but at least they're talking And after a quick aside to Mineral, where Bix is looking up at the sky, waiting for Cassian to return, we return to the jungle planet where the two groups are coming back together to talk things out. And they manage to lay down their weapons inside the ship. Cassian asks for his captor and what is happening. And outside, they decide to start playing 5 hands, Roski rules, which is just paper, rock, scissors. But the way they build this up,
I thought it was going to be ritual combat.
like Dune. I thought this was going to be the end of Dune Part 1 here. And
or like the challenge for the Darksaber, like between Mandalorians or something. It's just rock, paper, scissors.
But again, I appreciate that humor because the way that they're doing it, it is life and death for them.
Right. And they have been shooting at each other. Like they are prepared to kill each other, but I don't know.
They even have like a second that comes with them for this, which is just
like, what do you mean? What do you need a second for in a rock, paper, scissors duel?
I cannot wait at the next Star Wars celebration. This is going to be a competition amongst people. Yeah, 5 hands, Roski rules. And I would love for you to stand with me.
I'll be your second. I'll be your second.
Thank you. As this is happening, Cassian is able to start to get away. He manages to get his weapon and get free, and he ties up his captor. And as they continue to play 5 hands, Cassian sneaks away, but hears something in the jungle. Then out of nowhere, they're consumed by a horrible, monstrous warthog-type monster. This could be... So I looked into this, what this animal is, because I now know where this jungle planet is. Mm-hmm. It's a species native to Yavin 4.
Oh, really? And this other jungle planet, right?
Yes. So it could be one of 2 creatures. It could be a runyip, but they're supposed to be herbivores, but it kind of looks like a runyip when you look it up on Wikipedia. However, Yavin 4 also has howler lizards, which I think this is what it is. They howl right before they attack.
We heard the sounds and everything.
Yeah. Chaos explodes, and Cassian races to the advanced Tay. He shoots the man inside, and I was getting so nervous about him shutting that door. I was like, don't you dare leave that door open.
Yep.
He raises over them, and as they blast at the Tay, he flies away, and they sadly realize that they're screwed.
Yeah.
But are they really? If they just walk a little bit, I think you'd be okay.
I think they'll be fine.
He races away, and we see that they've actually been on Yavin 4 the entire time.
Yeah, we got Masasi temples. Boom.
So Yavin 4 is the planet that we see in Rogue One, and of course in A New Hope that they attack the Death Star out of. That's that planet.
You got the guard up in the really skinny little tower, the little watch tower.
Yeah.
You got the good temple thing that they've made into the base. That's a Masasi temple. We see a couple of those on the skyline as we pull out. In Legends and stuff, Masasi were a particular breed of Sith. The species, not the like dark side or they were like the warrior class. I think that
they still are in canon. It's just not very clear if like Naga Sado made them or Exar Kun, all that. In Legends, one of those Masasi temples is inhabited by the spirit of Exar Kun, a Sith Lord, and if this were The Mandalorian, that would be an episode.
Yes, indeed, it would. It would. But I don't expect to probably see that in Andor season 2.
No, that would be a side episode. But great ending because that's kind of a shocking ending. I don't know if you're not super familiar with Star Wars, that's going to mean anything to you. But to us, we realize, okay, so they're using this planet as kind of a drop off point, but they're not using it for a base yet.
It's not the base yet. I almost wonder if later we'll have a moment where Cassian, when they're like, we need a base, where's the base going to be? And he almost thinks back to the leaderless, like not like uncentered group and be like, I'm not going to let that happen again with the rebellion. Like, let's make a base on Yavin 4.
Let's redeem that planet.
Yeah.
What if they're still there and they find them when they get there?
Be wild.
I would be disappointed that Cassian doesn't kill them on the spot.
I don't think they lasted another night.
No. They ended up killing each other or being eaten by howler lizards.
Yeah. We may see like one of them missing a leg later or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So I thought that was a great ending. I'm very happy that Cassian got away from them because I'm with you. I feel like that whole story arc, just that one, was dragging. But I did notice at the end of in the credits, we got a new composer. Did you know that? I did not know we were getting a new composer here. It's Brandon Roberts. Yeah. Now the theme is still Nicholas Berletti, but we got a new composer. And I will say, I feel like this music is a little more Star Wars-y than season 1.
Yeah, I definitely think it's leaned into it's just a little more high energy than the music in season 1, I think. And I think those are fitting for what we've seen on screen, you know, for both things. I love the music in season 1. Introduced us to a lot of different like new soundscapes and stuff that we hadn't heard yet in Star Wars. I hope that tradition continues. I hope we continue to branch out and do cool things in Andor. The next episode is indicative, I think, that there will be some fun things coming. But but the music's been great. I'm excited to see what we get music wise in the rest of the season.